Hi, everyone. This is the first episode in a special series. We are watching all the Star Wars movies and talking about each one. This first episode is about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We have a very special guest, Alex. Alex is my brother. If you're not into Star Wars, hopefully it is still entertaining. We don't get all serious about like lore and stuff. Our conversations are more like, why is his face so dumb with that haircut? Anyway, there are spoilers for the entire Star Wars franchise. We talk about all the movies and shows like The Mandalorian. So you have to be okay with hearing that stuff. All right, here we go.
Welcome to our pod program.
Hello.
Yay!
We decided we were going to rewatch all the Star Wars movies. And
In order.
In order.
And talk about them because nobody's ever talked about Star Wars before.
That's right.
My pajamas just bunched up.
It's really early, so
I fixed them.
we're in pajamas.
We're all in pajamas. We're eating snacks.
Mm-hmm. So which was the first one? Did we watch it?
We watched it.
May I add something?
Yes.
We watched them not in order of release, but in order of the make-believe timeline.
Yes. Good distinction. So first movie is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Released in 1999.
Good God. May we have a synopsis of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's just talk about what it's about.
So, are you thinking that we try to remember what this synopsis is, or should I bring some up?
Not Google it. That's boring.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying each of us tell the story of what we think it's about?
We each take turns.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Oh.
So we could each say a thing and then say, and then the next person.
Oh, okay, yeah. New segment.
Oh, this is great. I love this. Okay, so
New segment. We tell the story. Segment.
So Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, starts out with the situation on Naboo, and the Trade Federation has blocked the trade routes going in and out of Naboo, trying to force them to sign some sort of document. And then
I didn't know that happened. I was seriously trying to think of how they come across Anakin. Like, I'm like, what happened? I think Alex has to go because I don't remember.
yeah, so
Pass. Okay. And then so Naboo was under an attack. Then someone they start attacking Naboo, and
who started attacking Naboo?
The Trade Federation.
No. Yes.
No,
Yes.
they were under attack though, according to Weird Al. And then Qui-Gon, mm-hmm. My good friend Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, they thought that they could maybe talk the Federation into cutting Naboo a little slack. Thank you, Weird Al. And then...
So now we're back to you.
No,
passed, right?
no. It was just I passed my turn. Now it goes to you. And while I'm Googling Well, I'm Googling
no,
Phantom
no.
Menace synopsis. Keep going.
Okay, so Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were supposed to help negotiate, but the negotiations never happened. They went down to Naboo, where they met Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Okay. This is where I come in.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Anakin lives in a sand igloo. Right?
On a different planet.
Oh. Shit. I don't understand. Wait. But that's how they meet him. Oh, Naboo is where Natalie Portman's from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that part either. Go ahead. Alex.
And then. Wait, what happened? No, so
I'm almost tempted that we should just say, okay, yeah, Anakin lives on Sand Igloo on a different planet. We're there now. And then
I think that this synopsis is too incremental. I was thinking larger swaths of concepts.
yeah, there's just a lot going on in that movie.
there is.
Okay, can we get back to the sand igloo? Because that's kind of where I'm locked
So
in.
they're in the sand igloo now for some reason. Oh, because they got lost. Oh, I remember. No, I remember now. Quiggin and what's his name? Obi-Wan. They got imprisoned by the Trade Federation when they were trying to smooth things over. And they got out of prison, but somehow they wound up at the sand igloo.
Mm.
And Anakin's like, hello!
Mm-hmm.
They're like, shut up.
I'm Anakin!
They're like, shut up, kid, you're bothering me.
And then that's where pod racing comes in because they got to raise some money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I totally know what happens in this movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, "Oh, your blood's got lots of things in it."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Quiggin, he called up to the mothership at one point, and he's like, "Hey, can you get me some health reports on this child?" He's got a lot of them metachlorians.
Yeah, so they end up raising the money for the repairs for their ship, and they also free Anakin.
But not the mother.
Mm-hmm. She did.
And they take Anakin back to Coruscant.
That's in another movie. The she's dead part. Don't give it away.
She's not dead yet.
Anakin meets Yoda and Samuel L. Jackson.
And they're like, this kid is nothing but trouble.
And hence why, as a real life child in real life, you should watch them. You should watch these movies in order of which they came out in theaters, because otherwise, once you see Yoda for the first time on Empire Strikes Back, you'll be like, "Oh, I've seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a huge deal."
Yeah, it's true. I don't really know how it ends.
He met Yoda though. Yoda was like, "I don't like him."
I don't think it's about whether he likes him or not.
I don't like him very much.
I mean, no one liked him very much. No one liked that guy. You don't even know how it ends, do you?
I'm trying.
It was that good.
Qui-Gon died.
Oh, he had the battle royale.
So yeah, they go back to Naboo, where they want to finally deal with the Trade Federation, and the Naboo people join up with the Gungans.
It's a very political movie.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this whole time, Palpatine is...
Moving the pawns, moving the pawns.
He's both trying to get this battle to happen and also pretending to be in the Galactic Senate trying to prevent the battle from happening.
And then Michael Moore shows up and whistle blowing. How corrupt they are.
Is that how it ends?
Darth Maul came into play.
Yep.
And boy, then they were sorry.
Because he kills Quiggin.
Yep. Darth Maul kills Quiggin. Obi-Wan chops Darth Maul half in two.
And he dies.
This is a podcast, of course, so you can't see Alex using quote marks. Little Anakin flies his plane and saves the day because he ends up inside that Federation starship and knocks out their shields.
God, did I sleep through this whole movie? I literally remember like 4 parts. And I think 2 of them are from the other movies.
By the way, have you watched the new Mandalorian?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
What if what's his name? Grogu?
Grogu?
We learned his name was Grogu. What if Grogu eventually became a Sith?
Oh, we've talked about that. Because, yeah. I can't remember why we talked about that.
Oh, he was full of fear.
Yeah.
As Anakin was.
Yeah, that Jedi, Ahsoka Tano, she was Anakin's Padawan before he turned into Darth Maul. You know of that one?
Anakin turned into Darth Maul?
Did I say Darth Maul?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I disagreed with you. I was like, yep.
He turns into before he turns into Darth Vader.
Okay.
Yeah, before. So she knows. That's why she's like, I've seen it. I've seen this before. It's bad. I think we finished episode 1 there.
Woo!
Because they won the battle.
And then they get awards at the end like they do on the other movies in the beginning or in the end.
Yeah, old Boss Nass holds up. He's like, I got a new ball. And he holds it up for everybody to see.
You fellers bow to no one.
That was a very good Aragorn.
Thank you.
Alex and I saw this one in theaters when it first came out.
When you were like 14?
I was 14 actually. Yeah.
12.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was our first Star Wars in the movie theaters.
That's right.
Which brings me to my first secret note. I have a set of secret notes. And I would like to bring up an item.
Okay.
What is your earliest Star Wars memory?
Ooh, I'm pretty sure I know what my earliest Star Wars memory is.
Okay.
The earliest thing I can remember is just
Apparently you don't.
little clips from that Star Wars short film of, what was it called? Battle for Endor? Is that what it's called? Hang on.
Oh my God.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is the other one. Caravan of Courage? Is that what it was called?
Who are you asking?
Well,
Am I supposed to be Googling too?
Hey, let me reach back in my mind and get this memory, and can you help me with it?
yeah, Caravan of Courage. Okay. So,
Oh, yeah.
so my earliest memory was we had a VHS tape of straight-to-TV film that was made, and it's called Ewok Adventure Caravan of Courage.
Oh.
And it had these two kids who were stranded on Endor with the Ewoks, and they were there with Wicket. And Wicket was like, "Star Cruiser? Quish, quish, quish."
I do remember that.
Yeah. And there was a big monster thing there, and so those are kind of the two things that I remember is little Wicket going, "Star Cruiser?"
So wait, your first Star Wars memory is not of any of the movies.
That's right.
That's so weird.
I always thought that was called. I thought it was called the Ewoks movie. That's what I called it.
That would be a really good title.
I guess I couldn't read back then, but also, I thought that wasn't a made-for-TV movie. I thought it was an actual theatrical release.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I didn't know the name of it either just now whenever I was Googling it. And I think part of that is because all of our VHS tapes, nothing was official. Everything was, like, recorded from TV and recorded over other things.
And then the mommy made a label for it.
And so most...
I don't know, this is a Star Wars movie. I just put Star Wars on there.
And so, yeah, we would put in a VHS tape, and most of them would start out like this. You hit play, it would have the weird tracking lines, and then like half a second of Winnie the Pooh, and then all of a sudden you're like 8 minutes into another movie, and it just started, and you don't get the title sequence or anything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'd have commercials in there, and sometimes we wouldn't. But if the commercials were cut out, they weren't cut out very well, because you couldn't do that well on a VCR. So you would always have just like a little bit of, "Hi, I'm Nancy with the Disney Channel," and then it'd go back to the movie.
Is that your first memory, Alex?
I guess so. I didn't think about that. But I had another early memory was not really the content of it was A New Hope, and I was looking at Han Solo on it, and I remember an early memory was me making a connection of, oh, that's the guy in Temple of Doom. You keep Dr. Jones.
That's funny. I'm trying to remember if I saw Star Wars in theaters, I would have been 6, which would have not been unheard of. But I think my first actual movie going to was Empire Strikes Back, because I would have been a little bit older. And I mean, I definitely know I saw Return of the Jedi in theaters, because me and my friend walked around our neighborhood the next day talking about it because we thought Ewoks were cute. But anyway, my first memory of any sort of Star Wars stuff was you could get, I don't know if they had these when you guys were kids, but you could get these trading cards with gum in them. Do you know about those? Sort of like baseball cards, but they had them for Star Wars. And for Star Wars, the card, it was for A New Hope. The cards all were part of a big puzzle that you could make. And so they were pictures of the movie poster, the one where there's, it's kind of a triangle of people. Yeah. And so me and my brother were collecting those. I can't remember the name of Bazooka maybe was the maker of the gum. Anyway, you could collect all of them and make the movie poster of Star Wars. And then that Halloween, maybe not that Halloween, but soon after, whatever the following Halloween was, I was Princess Leia. My mom made me a costume, and I put my hair in the buns, and my brother was Darth Vader, and we were tiny, like we were little, and he had this Darth Vader mask that would made him look like a bobblehead because it was so big on his head. Anyway, that's all.
I was hoping you were going to say you were an Ewok.
I wish I would have been. Yeah, so that's my Star Wars stuff.
That's awesome.
I've always thought it kind of funny that Ewok and Wookiee are kind of similar words.
Yeah, they're kind of backwards from
Like-
each other.
Wookiee has double O's, whereas Ewok has double E's, but they're both little hairy guys.
I feel like maybe Phantom Menace is missing out on really hairy creatures.
I don't remember any.
Yeah, everybody's
There-
hairless. Darth
There's
Maul.
There's a lot going on in Phantom Menace.
I think people aren't hairy because it was just so CGI heavy that it's probably easier to make things all smooth and. I mean, that's why their spaceships are so stupid looking.
Spaceships aren't hairy enough.
Well, they're all they're too fancy. You know, like in the later episodes, they look all like riveted and like actually aircraft type things. And then in the ones we're talking about, they're all sleek, like they're like underwater sea creatures. It looks stupid.
I agree.
Let's talk about also the Gungans.
Who are they?
Jar Jar is a Gungan.
Oh, yeah.
They play a big role in Phantom Menace.
Gung.
Gungans. They are hairless, but Alex, you have a note here that
I do.
Despite being hairless, many of the Gungans have a fleshy mustache.
Oh yeah, I do remember noticing that. It's kind of gross if you get right down to it.
Yeah, I guess they were going for like a catfish sort of thing, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. I bet that's it.
And I was wondering, like, so all of the Gungans, they look kind of almost like lizard-like or kind of catfish-like, but they're all like kind of skinny, like Jar Jar and
Dinosaur?
like, real lean. Yeah, a little bit dinosaur-like. And then out of all of them, their leader, Boss Nass,
It's humongous.
is this humongous round frog-looking one.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on there? Is he a different, like, are there, like, different species of Gungans? Or
It's like orange tans when they get fat-faced.
I see.
Well, like in Lord of the Rings, the goblins, why was the Goblin King proportionately so different than the rest of them? Mm-hmm. Is that accurate or not?
Yeah, I think that's a good parallel.
Like, it's like if you're king, you're big. Period.
Nuts stunts.
Yeah, so just the biggest one. He was the biggest Gungan. Mm-hmm. Therefore, he's king.
Who found it gross when is it, oh, hang on. Let's settle this. Is it Qui-Gon or Qui-Gon?
Quaggin?
But I think it was Qui-Gon who was a little bit unsettled when he touched Jar Jar's tongue.
Yeah.
There was a part. He touches his tongue. He didn't even wash his hands afterwards.
Yeah, they're sitting there as guests and Anakin.
They're
And-
eating.
Yeah, they're all eating at Tatooine. And Qui-Gon's like, I'm gonna feel your tongue.
I don't know if I remember. I must have been sleeping. I don't remember any of this.
What really happens is Jar Jar sticks his tongue out real fast like a chameleon, and Qui-Gon catches it midair.
Ew.
Yeah. But he like continues to hold it for a second.
And feel it.
Yeah.
And he just keeps on eating.
Oh. What was your second thing before we talked about the tongue?
Oh, Qui-Gon? Mm-hmm. Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon.
Is it soft on the last syllable, or is it Qui-Gon? Hello, Qui-Gon. It gets worse the more you think about it. No wonder you had to go. But on that note, he also looked like a member of Collective Soul. I just read that from my notes. It sounded like I was reading.
What I was thinking about this. So I'm wondering why rat tails are a futuristic theme, because they're not only in these movies, they're also in Raised by Wolves. And I'm like, why is that a thing? Like the short hair on top, like pop country is the dominating style of all future movies. Like, I'm not real sure.
A lot of mullets in Raised by Wolves.
Mm-hmm. And rat tail, like true rat tails, and that's what these guys have. It's weird.
And no one in Star Wars has nice clothing. Like, so it always looks like kind of like old drapes or something. Or like, I don't know, just put on my robe real quick and play with my little laser sword.
But now Star Wars is a thing where we don't know that it's future. It's just a different...
Right, yeah, it's actually not necessary.
They admittedly say that it's a long time ago.
Okay.
This is true. This is true, but they can fly around, but they haven't decided whether or not they should have a proper haircut.
I'm also kind of confused. Like, I see how Jar Jar Binks is. He plays a big part, really, in the second movie, just as the person who suggests that Palpatine should be the Supreme Chancellor. But in the first movie, I don't really know that he does anything. You know? Like, does he actually contribute anything to the first movie?
Not really.
Because, like, Qui-Gon said they needed Jar Jar as a navigator to go through the planet's core of Naboo. But then they're going through Naboo, and Jar Jar is just, like, screaming and eventually gets tranquilized using Jedi mind tricks.
So they didn't need him.
Yeah, and there's even a part where Jar Jar asks where they are going as they're going through the planet core. And Qui-Gon says, the Force will guide it. Oh, sorry, he was Obi. I said I used Obi-Wan's old voice to be Qui-Gon.
The Force will guide us. I'm John Lennon. By the way, this might be a good point for Alex and I to show off our amazing impression skills.
No.
Oh no!
Because
what have I done?
well, I can obviously do. I can do it.
No, you can't.
Perfect, Obi-Wan.
More like Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
The other one I recently found out that I could do. Get out of my swamp, Shrek.
You can't.
What? Get out of my swamp,
Like,
Shrek.
Oh, Shrek.
no.
That sounds nothing like Shrek.
I know! It's so bad. It's so
Like you
bad.
have problems, and this isn't a coronavirus joke because that's very serious, but it sounds like you have a problem smelling.
Yeah, not a good one.
Why can't I smell nothing? I can't smell nothing.
Episode 1, Anakin. This is this is the only one that has little. Was he like 9 years old? Anakin.
I don't know.
Whatever age he is, he's awful.
Mm-hmm. And everyone knows he's awful.
Yeah. That's not new.
So Alex,
Oh God, he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Alex put in the really, really good note. Why is Anakin yelling?
He did yell a lot.
Oh my God! Just like every line, he's just yelling so much.
So much.
So much.
That's all right.
Maybe they should have made Jar Jar smaller and cuter. So here's a question, and this is like an actual technical or movie question. Was Jim Henson not involved in these 3 movies?
He died in 1990.
So my question is, and this is more technical, not funny question is, so if Jar Jar, if Jar Jar could have been cute and smaller, he would have been probably if Henson was involved, Henson Studios was involved. Like, my question is, were they not at all?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Probably not. It doesn't seem like they were.
Yeah, and I think that would have.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I just think that it's like there's nothing soft in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jar Jar would have been just hilariously gigantic or adorable.
Yeah, he would have been like Sweetums.
Yeah.
Or he would have been like, well, like the new Baby Yoda. I mean, he'd been cute, you know.
Yeah. Or at least like Kermit or something.
Yeah.
And he would have sounded just like Miss Piggy. Kraken!
But the thing is, I think that voice that Jar Jar did have would have been fine, but he's like a really well proportioned, muscular, human sized creature, and so it's like kind of creepy.
Well, I think that's really fucking silly too. It's like you've made up a creature, but let's do it the same proportions as someone dressed up in a costume. Like, you get to do anything because you've made them up. Why would you be like, let's make this actually like someone in a costume? Like, then put someone in a fucking costume. I don't know. It just seems silly.
It could have just been the head and it be like in a fishbowl or something. They just carry around the fishbowl.
I
see a note about Darth Maul. Is that the guy with the red and black?
Yeah.
He looks like the devil.
Are we to believe that he is human-like and he's painted his face because that's his thing, or is his skin that way?
His skin is that way. I know that one. He's a Zabrak. I think that's how they're said.
I don't buy it.
I don't believe you.
And they also have horns sticking up out of them.
Oh, yeah, that is right. I don't know. It's not very believable. There's just a lot of misses there. Like, we're going to have a real guy, we're going to paint his face, and he's supposed to be a thing. But then everything else I don't know.
And he had a double lightsaber. How is he allowed to have 2 of them? Is he rich or something?
How do they obtain them? Are they like just like, could anyone go to the Jedi store and buy one, but you don't get to call yourself a Jedi? Or are they forged in the Mount Doom or something? Like, how does that work?
I think there is something to like Jedi are supposed to like learn how to craft their own lightsaber.
There's nothing about that. There's nothing that says that. I don't believe that. Because in The Mandalorian, we know how shit happens. We don't know how.
And part of it is those kyber crystals.
Right.
And those are mentioned. Those are mentioned in Rogue One.
Well, that's after the fact.
This is the JJ explained Star Wars.
What do you want to know about Alex?
Maybe though they will have prequels that prequels that will explain Jedi's better.
Jay and I have talked about that. Like, I want to know. That's the story that I want. I want to know about the ancient Jedi shit.
Like, how did Jedis first come to be in the first place?
Yeah.
Back in the olden times when they were on the Oregon Trail.
And the ones that didn't get the dysentery became Jedis.
Qui-Gon died of dysentery.
Well, I think it would be good to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we do like about these Star Wars movies.
I mean, I like just that there's a story. It just was executed so poorly, like everyone else in the world thinks.
Is Anakin the Star Wars equivalent of a redneck? got my new pod hog.
I got my powder.
Got my pod hog. Got my.
It's like the monster truck rally.
Well, not only that, like he's, how he's just, he's easily angered. He's like super easily angered. Like, God dang it! He gets all mad.
Everything revolves around Thunder Valley Speedway around here.
Well, and he does have that haircut.
Mm-hmm. And he yells a lot.
He does yell a lot.
And he kind of has a bowl cut almost.
Oh, little Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Little orphan Annie.
Uh-huh. All right. That's good.
Well, I do like that Anakin is a redneck. I do like the pod racing scene. One of the things that I like about it is the sound effects that they do put on each of the pod racers, because each of them sound very different from each other.
They had a pretty decent video game that was pod racing.
Yeah, they recently re-released that. You can download it on Switch. I got it and beat it again.
So what happens when they're like, let's take the time to think about how the pod racers were built and that they would sound different, but let's just like slap together these fucking main characters and not think about it quite a bit.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Do we need to talk more about who Alex is?
I'm JJ's brother.
I'm glad you're here with us today, JJ's brother Alex.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Coming next time, episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.